Okay, so I wanted to show you my interactive notebooks and my rubrics. I use the interactive notebooks when introducing a new standard to touch base with what they are, and then I use the rubrics consistently throughout any unit. So like here's an old one from last year, my science one. I do this for pretty much every subject, so there's some continuity between what we're doing. We do a lot of drawings. So especially because I have several ESOL kids in my classroom, I feel like the drawings can help them quite a bit. This year I just have a single 5 subject binder. My kids all have their individual colored notebooks that they use. But you can see we go through it, we color, we highlight, we do whatever we need to get these concepts into our brains, and then we can go out into the real world and into texts and into our experiments, and then have these notebooks in front of us with our notes in them to have some sort of a reference point. So these are the rubrics that I made for my kids. I started making them last year in 3rd grade, and this year I've looped up with my kids, which has been great because they already know how to use these, and it's been a much easier progress to explain how to go through these every day. Our district requires us to use rubrics. However, the ones I was given last year, I did not like them very much. My kids had a very hard time understanding them, breaking down what they're really supposed to be learning, because it was all in a format that they didn't understand. So I rewrote them, broke them into separate learning goals, especially because, one standard can have several things that they're hitting. So every new unit or every new standard, they will get a rubric. They get a small, very short and easy pre-assessment, something that's going to let me know where are they already with this summary. Are they standard? Are they already where they're supposed to be? Are they really far behind? What part of the standard are they missing? And that's going to help me formulate my groups to begin with. But they're going to come in and they're going to write down their pre-assessment, and that's going to kind of be their, oh, I have some work to go or to do in this standard, so I better pay attention. When we go through the learning goals, I tried my best to put them by the depth of knowledge, putting the ones sort of at the top. So that way, if the standard's like a DOK 3, we're starting somewhere easy. We're starting at an intro level. What are we talking about? We'll just do that day. And then we'll kind of work our way down to the depth of the standard. So like with this one with theme and summary, I started with summary. You need to be able to summarize who did what, when, and why, and how before they can really start getting to the theme. So we haven't gotten very far so far, as you can see, but they're going to say with this learning goal, today this is learning goal we're going to work on, I am a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then we discuss what is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And they turn and talk, and they talk to their partners about why they are that number. And like my one girl volunteered her answer, and she said, I'm a 2 because I can remember some important details, but not in the order. But not all or in order. And this was a girl I had last year, and she's right. She does really struggle with remembering how to summarize, how to get those events in order. And I think that's, I was really proud of her for recognizing that. So now, especially because I saw this and she recognized it, I can tell her whenever we're in a text, what are we working on right now? How are you going to address that order? What are some of the tricks that we just talked about? So we have those little conversations just in the beginning, and then every day we can kind of come back. Okay, you guys remember, we're still talking about summary. We got to look at those key details and putting everything in the order that they happened. And then we can go in here I'll give them short text to work with in whole groups, something that's on their level or grade level. And we'll mark it, and we took our little characters so we don't forget how to do everything. So most of these interactive like flippy flops that I get, I typically don't always use them the way that they are on Teachers Pay Teachers, although they're excellent, and this saves me time for sure, but I definitely use these in a way that is more relevant to my kids. So, I mean, we put it, they're the ones who generate what their answers are. So like for this one example, I wrote, Spot came in soaking wet. So instead of just writing down what are clues from the text and what does that mean and what would the inferences be, what does that mean, and it's not just definitions. Instead, I gave them a scenario and I gave them a piece of evidence, and they had to tell me, you know, he came in soaking wet. Here was some evidence. This is why. This is our inference that, oh yeah, he must have had, he's wet because he had a bath. And then I gave them the reason why. Spot, the inference, I gave that to them. Spot was playing in a puddle, and they had to come up with this. So I would have them all turn and talk with their partners, and they are the ones who are generating a lot of the stuff that's going in here. And I think that's really helpful to them, because that way when we're interacting with this, with our texts or in our small groups, this makes more sense to them because this is something that they had a thought process through. So anyways, I really like these binders. They've been working out well for my kids, especially because I have a huge range of kids, some in the 9th percentile and up to the 95th percentile. And they all seem to do well getting engaged and interacting with these. It's something that they can all do and nobody feels too left out. So I like it.